Hey, it's H here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Ethereum. I'll cover wave analysis with Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios your price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on a bit higher time frame and looking at this whole scenarios again from the tip tops here around $4,800. Again, the main idea here is that we've had a three-way structure coming down from the very highs. On RSI, this would be already in the RSI cycles. This was the top here, which would be the third of thirds. So again, the fifth would end up at these highs here for the bullish count on the Elliott Waves. So whatever we have here is some kind of three-way structure, whether you want to be starting it from here or here on RSI. This looks the best as we are looking to create these three-way moves. So again, with Elliott Waves in mind, we would be having this as a three-way structure. Now again, if we are looking at extension targets, we are getting right around the 1-to-1 extension here, which looks very good. On log scale, we do get to the 1.618. So the question here is, are we actually looking at an impulsive structure or not? And that is still up for debate. However, again, this structure here does feel like it is looking for a partner wave up at some point. Now, whether it is actually doing something like this, getting up higher, we don't know of that yet. At that point, if we still want to be thinking that we have this as a 1, 2, 3, this would be the way forward, and it is starting to take quite a bit of time in comparison to this. So that is making it a bit less likely. Of course, it is still possible. If you are going to go touch these areas of around $2,100, then we would have to be thinking about some kind of expanding diagonal, which makes it even less likely. If we are just thinking that we have this as a three-way structure here and this as another three-way structure here, we don't need to be worrying about these getting any kind of overlap, because again, these are separate structures. At that point, we could have this as an W, X, and Y. I don't think this is going to be retracing enough up in here. But again, there is definitely a possibility that we are getting back to these $2,000 areas at some point. But again, these higher time frames are more of a speculation on higher time frame, and I do like to go more into detail on the smaller time frames until we get a clear signal what could be happening there, and if we are getting some kind of pivot point that is going to give us some kind of signal that okay, this smaller time frame count is actually done. And once we determine what is the higher time frame count connected to this, then we can be looking at these higher time frames and look for higher time frame projections. Again, I do think that this structure, wherever it is still not finished, and that's why I do keep my focus more on this and not on the higher time frame. So let's take a look at these options that we have here. Starting here on 1 hour time frame, and overall what we had was that we had a three-way structure here as a possibility. The other one was that we had a 5-wave. Both of these are possible. Which do I like the most? Well, we have a pretty okay extension targets here for that third wave. We go beyond the 1.618, so I do feel like that is somewhat probable. There are a couple of different issues that we have here on the bullish count, which is, for example, this wave 4 getting to the 0.618 here, which is very untypical, very rare, but it still is possible. So we can't really throw it out the window, this bullish count, just for that. But yeah, those are the two options on higher time frame. The next structure was again from these highs over here around 2K, and then we were looking for downwards movement. We had a few different options here. One of them was saying that we had an impulse wave count coming down. Again, the issue is that the third wave here does not extend even to the 1-to-1 on arithmetic scale. On log scale, it just barely does. And the wave 5 is very weird looking, resembles more of a three-way structure here. So that is the worst one of this all. Then we had the WXYX count, XZ count, where we would have this as a WXYZ. But again, the Z wave is so small in comparison to this wave Y and wave W that it does not really make too much sense in my opinion. So what did we have left? We had this as a ABC coming down and another ABC going up. So this would be a W, X and then looking for wave Y. Again, the main target for wave Y would be taking out the wave W's lows here to create somewhat of a symmetrical look. This should be a different color, so let's change that and bring this over so we can actually see some numbers here. There we go. And what is this? I'm not sure what this is. Let's see. Oh yeah, this was the other possibility where we would have this as a possibility like so, and then another structure like this. That is still possible, but I do think that, and like kind of this WXY count a bit better because it has a bit better proportions in my opinion. But I'll just put this into another folder and we can talk about that later if that turns out to be a bit more realistic. So the idea here is that we are looking for wave Y, which is again a three-way structure. The main target 1-to-1 would be around $871, which is again very bearish. Again, if we are looking at the higher time frame, that is basically spot on where we have these current lows. So that if we are going to be breaking that, that is going to determine us whether this is going to be a 5-way move or a 3-way move. Again, that is not yet decided. So let's dive into this last leg here, what we got. So the most clear structures that we have here is this ABC structure here. This first structure here can be determined in multiple ways, or multiple ways. This could be a 1-2, possible 3, 4, and 5. Or we could be having this as a diagonal into 1-2, 1-2. That both are possible. So rather than focusing on too much of this, because again it is giving us multiple possibilities, we can be looking at some of the extension targets that we are getting and getting some kind of view on that instead. Here we can see that we are extending quite far here to the 2.236. So that is giving us more of an impulsive wave count look. If this indeed was a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that would mean again that if we are having this as a diagonal here, we would have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, giving us a 5-way look into these lows. We do have some kind of divergence at these lows. Again, we can't really register this on RSI because again we have a very large wick and the close is all the way up in here, so that is not at least registering there. Let's take a look at the smaller time frame if we can get any kind of a close, because again RSI is based on the close, and if the price does whatever it does, RSI is not going to be showing it to us, unfortunately. So basically we would be looking at the line graph for the RSI in any case. But again, as we are looking at the price itself, we see these wicks and we have to be looking at those as in the price terms. But yeah, that gives us the possibility in any case to have this whole thing as a 5-way move, which could be the start of an A wave here. Again, the expectation was that 3-way structure, so we can't really end the WXY here in 5 waves. So that is the reason why we have this as an A. Since then, again, let's zoom in a bit more. Since the lows that were put in place on Thursday, we would have this as a potential 3-way structure here as an ABC. I have my short in here as well. We had this divergence, all these highs, giving that double divergence look, and then we did drop down a bit. Now, at the moment, I've labeled this ending at these highs. However, again, we had this another divergence, which would be fitting into this expanded flat structure. Again, this is, however, very extended. It is right around the 2.618. We don't really want to see it going any more than that. So I do allow it in this time. This would bring us to wave W here, and then another 3-way structure here. This is very hard to label. On Bitcoin, this had a bit different view, but here again, we could be labeling this as very same diagonal here, first leg, second and third. On RSI, we are just looking at this straight leg up. It's back to the overbought area, and then looking for correction down. So overall WX, and then looking for wave Y here to take place, and this should be around the 1-to-1 extension. It actually went a bit past and probably touched the 1.236 here, so that looks pretty good. Then another structure, three-way structure like so, three ways in here. The actual low, again, this was a fairly small X wave in comparison to this whole structure, but as we see that this RSI has taken out the previous one, we can be saying that if we have a three-way move here, it is most probable to do something like this. On smaller time frames, the X could be here, or we could be having some kind of running flat structure and put the X wave here. Maybe that is a bit more balanced look, so it doesn't really overall matter at this point anymore. Then the next structure, which definitely on higher time frame looks more impulsive than corrective, can be viewed in a couple of different ways. Again, the best looking structure here is this one here, right in the middle, giving us the potential having this as a three-way structure instead. So that's what I've used here, and it again is getting right into the corrective extension targets here around the 1.236 extension. So that's why I do think that it is actually a three-way structure in here. So what we got here is a WXY, WXY, and then a potential three-way structure here. Again, we don't know what this could be part of as of yet, or we don't confirm it what is part of yet, but again, a three-way possibility here for another wave W. Then we had this very large consolidation area where, again, very typical to weekend, we have a very low volume, and here it is not very typical for a triangle because again we have these lows here, and even on a bit higher time frame we do have this almost expanding look. Some of these lows and the highs are not really good looking in here, but I'm not quite sure how else I would be labeling this. I don't really want to be calling these some kind of 1-2-1-2 setups, because again these do look like fairly like a three-way structures all around here, so it is kind of hard to say that. It is possible to label this as a B, C, D and E for that X wave to create a triangle there, although RSI is not fully really supporting that. After that point, again after X was put in place, we could be looking this as another A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave. There is a potential for this B wave to be here, where if we want to be using this as a triangle, where we would have this as an A, B, C, D, E, it would be very distorted because this first leg here is so extended, and RSI is definitely not really looking into this or really supporting this too much. So there is again possibility where this is where the B is, and this would be the wave 1 of a move downwards. So a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty good looking. Again, RSI is not giving us the full truth here, because again this was a wick and the close was around here, not giving us that divergence at least on 1 minute here. The question here is, what is this structure? And I'm still a bit baffled about it. I can't really tell what that is. It is very bad looking. We have potential 5-way structure here as the start, and then up to these highs on RSI again we would be having a 3-way pullback, giving us more confidence that okay, this is moving down. However, again, this last structure don't really give me too much. Again, if it is starting with a 5-way structure, it needs to end with a 5-way structure, and I just can't really get a good looking structure here. The next thing here I see is a 3-way structure. So I think I need to be skipping this part and not trying to analyze it too far. Either it's a 3-way structure or a 5-way structure. Whatever fits the next structures better, I'm going to go with that. It is possible that this is a 5-way structure that ends the wave C if indeed this A wave was a 5-way structure. At that point again, we would not take out the wave W waves lows here that was put in place earlier on Friday. So that was again the main goal of that wave Y. So it raises the question whether this, if it is indeed a finished move, this ABC here, is that the start of that wave W, oh sorry, wave Y here, and we are getting some kind of pullback and then another move downwards again. So I think that is the expectation again for now, at least taking out the wave W lows here, because again, RSI has already taken out all the lows that we had for this wave W. So to me, it would make sense that that this whole thing either is finished with the truncation, which I truly hope it is not, and we are going to get another bounce like that from here on out. So definitely be an alert, looking for longs, or at least I am, and trying to get a partner leg for this one, because I don't think that we have had it. Do I see this being a bullish move? Meaning, do I see this as an impulsive move at all? Unfortunately, no, I don't. I've seen some people are labeling this as a third wave here, and this again fifth, having a truncation. I don't like that. Also, again, the extension targets here, I don't see a point placing a 1, 2, 3 here, because again, extension targets are not even close to 1.618. So that is the reason I'm thinking that this is going to be a bearish correction. But yeah, I think that is pretty much going to do it for ETH for today. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.